A very good morning wherever you're watching us from. This is Kirk in the morning, the 26th of October 2022. How are you? I hope that your morning has begun on an upward note. Welcome to Kirk in the morning. My name is Vincent Kiros. We have a lot lined up for you, including a conversation this morning on the state of the nation. President William Ruto, of course, abolishing kazi mtaani and saying you need at least a year for him to bring down those the prices of unga. We have that and more coming up in our conversation this morning, but first things first, let's look at the traffic update. Well, looking at my map here on Langata Road this morning, does it look bad this morning on your way to the city? But of course, a little bit of clogging up around the roundabout in Nyayo roundabout and of course Chimol, but things looking not bad. If you move a little bit to Mbagathi way as well, it looks bad this morning, to be precise. Actually going to the city, the red lines meaning that there is a lot of traffic on that road headed to the city. Looking at Mombasa Road this morning looks a little bit friendly, looks a little bit slightly good going into the city. A little bit of traffic of course around Nyayo roundabout, but things not as bad. Which other road we look at? Jogoo Road, if possible. Jogoo Road this morning, connect to land this road this morning as well, not looking so good. A little bit of traffic of course. Valley Road connecting to Kenyatta Avenue into the CBD this morning, looking friendly, looking moving in a good way this morning into the city. So that is a little bit of what is happening on the road this morning. Ngong Road as well, Ngong Road into the city, it's bumper to bumper. A lot of traffic on that road headed into the city. So what you have to do, if you're still in the house and you want to be in the city this morning, make sure that you plan your time well and get out of the house earlier than before so that you can beat these traffic jam into the city this morning, especially if you are on Ngong Road, Langata Road, and of course a little bit of Jogoo Road as well this morning. That is what is happening on the road this morning. If there is anything that you want to update us, kindly send us your feedback on our SMS number 011102244, and of course on our social media, Kirk TV Kenya on Facebook, Kirk TV Kenya on Twitter as well as Instagram, and we'll be able to sample that even as we continue with the conversation this morning. That is the traffic update. Well, after the traffic update, let's have a look at the news at this hour, a little bit of an update of what transpired yesterday and what we expect to transpire as far as the news is concerned this morning. And Kenyans will have to wait for at least a year for the prices of unga to come down. Speaking at the launch of the construction of affordable houses in Langata, Soweto B area, President William Ruto has hit back at his predecessor, saying that the previous government abated the soaring of the prices of the commodity. Hence, it will take him time to sort them out. This is a sharp turn away from the Kenya Kwanza campaign promises, where the president promised to bring down the prices of unga in his early days in office.
Niliwaambia ya kwamba lazima tuteremushe bei ya unga ikuje chini. Na hiyo safari ya kupunguza gharama ya unga na gharama ya maisha tayari nimeianzisha. Tayari tumepatia wakulima wetu mbolea magunia 1.5 milioni, na tunawapatia ingine magunia 6 wazalishe chakula, ndio chakula ifike hapa ikiwa bei nafuu, na bei ya unga tuanze kuiteremusha. Mimi nataka niwaambie hivi, wale walioharibu hii mambo ya unga mpaka ikafika shilingi 230, walikoroga hiyo mambo kwa miaka 4, si ndio? Si waliharibu kwa miaka 4? Munipatie tu mwaka moja peke yake nitakuwa nimenyorosha. Kuna mna hiyo? So mos.
At the same time, no more Kazi Mtaani. President William Ruto has seemingly abolished the Kazi Mtaani program that was launched by former President Uhuru Kenyatta during the height of COVID-19. Ruto has brushed off in hopes of that program being relaunched, saying his affordable housing program will create more and dignified jobs for the youth.
Najua nyinyi mumeniambia ya kwamba mnataka ile kazi mtaani. Munisikize. Sikizeni. Mambo ya kazi mtaani ni mambo zamani. Ile kazi mtaani ya kuokota takataka na nini hapana. Tuachane na hiyo. Sasa kazi itakuwa hii. Nyinyi mnanielewa? Hiyo kazi sikizeni. Hiyo kazi ya mtaani. Hakuna kazi ya mtaani tena. Kazi ni hii ya kujenga manyumba hii. Na nimemwambia huyu mungwana, wale watu wa kwanza ambao wataajiriwa katika kazi hii ni watu wa hapa Lang'ata na watu wa Kibra, ndio watakuwa wa kwanza. Jambo la pili, mulikuwa mnaajiriwa watu 500 kwa kila ward, si namna hiyo? Watu 500 kwa ward, ambaye ilikuwa watu 2500. Sio 2500 ndio watasaidia kujenga hii nyumba. Na tukianzisha ile Soweto C, tutakuwa na watu wengine 2500. Na tukianzisha ile Soweto D, tutakuwa na wengine 2500. Sasa ile mlikuwa mnaniuliza kazi, si ndio hiyo? Vile tunafanya kazi hii ya mambo ya kujenga manyumba, mimi vile naelewa ya kwamba muko na shida ya ajira, na ndio nimesema mambo ya ajira tutapanga ndani ya affordable housing. Tutaanzisha ujenzi wa manyumba katika kila constituency hapa Nairobi. Pale Makongeni mahali tunajenga nyumba karibu 25,000. Tutahitaji vijana zaidi ya 20,000 watusaidie kwa hiyo kazi. Kwa hivyo tutapanga nafasi ya ajira ya kutosha bila ya kutumia vijana wendu kwenda kuokota takataka. Kazi ya kuokota takataka ni ya Gavana Sakaja. Aokote takataka apeleke kule kwa mambo mahali inapelekwa takataka.
Away from that, the National Assembly this morning is set to continue with the debate on the vetting report of the CS nominees presented by the Committee on Appointment yesterday. There was a heated debate in the House yesterday evening as the two sides exchanged on the rejection of CS nominee for tourism Penina Malonza, while the minority wants Mithika Linturi and Aisha Jumwa rejected as well.
The Honorable Wanda should be stopped from claiming that she is not fit when she is serving in the Parliamentary Service Commissioner as a commissioner courtesy of ODM.
Madam Speaker, on the 3 nominees that we rejected, one, Aisha Jumwa. The certificate of good conduct from the DCI, Madam Speaker, came out indicating that all the nominees were clean.
Even if you look at the past cabinet, very many of them had civil matters, civil cases. They did not impede them from doing their work. The civil cases that are hanging around Mithika Linturi will not in any way impede him from doing his work. He had these cases even when he was a senator. But today, to try to crucify Mithika Linturi on the basis of civil matters is double speak on the members that have written the minority report.
It is confusing this House. Leave it to us, we will know what we will do with it. If we feel, like I am sure many of us feel, that there is no way we are going to reject one member out of 24, we are going to approve them all. But you are the same people who have rejected. So don't give excuses. Don't look good.
It is probable, Honorable Speaker, that a nominee, and indeed I saw this happen, not just to this particular nominee, to at least a minimum of 4 nominees who panicked became anxious and could at times lose their line of thinking and forget very simple basic things, Honorable Speaker, that we shall treat them with the decorum and respect that they deserve. But they must treat the people of Kenya with higher respect and answer to questions and statements that are of concern to the people of Kenya without the arrogance we saw in the last regime. We must take this opportunity, Honorable Speaker, and I must tell them from this floor, Honorable Speaker, the reason the President has implored on this House to amend our standing orders, to allow cabinet secretaries to appear in this House to answer to questions and statements, Honorable Speaker, and also to articulate government policy, Honorable Speaker, is to enhance accountability in government.
Well, that is just but what transpired yesterday. We have a lot that is coming up, including a discussion this morning where we are going to dissect the report that was presented to the plenary of the House yesterday on the vetting of the CS nominees, of course, leading to the rejection of Penina Malonza, and of course the dissenting report from the minority on Mithika Linturi, the CS nominee for Agriculture, as well as Aisha Jumwa, the CS nominee for Public Service and Affirmative Action. We are going to look into that, but for now, I want to take a short break, but I'll be back with, of course, a look on the newspaper this morning. What are the top stories in the top pages of the newspaper this morning? Don't go away, and I believe that we'll be coming back with a guest this morning so that we continue with the conversation. Remember that you can weigh in the conversation, of course, through our SMS number 0111 000 2244, and of course our social media pages, Kirk TV Kenya on Twitter, Kirk TV Kenya on Facebook, and we'll be able to look at that. Don't go away, I'll be back shortly.
We welcome your feedback on our programming. For questions or comments, kindly get in touch with us via email info@kirktv.org, SMS 0111 220044, or call us on 0794 588 054. Here at Kirk TV. Are you a business looking to advertise your brand and products to potential customers? Are you looking to improve your sales as we end the year? Starting this October till January 31st, 2023, we are offering you, our customer, various discounts up to 50% off our advertising rates. Imagine paying half the price to reach customers countrywide. Usiwachwe nyuma hii krisi. Call our sales teams now on 0738 278 506 or 0739 971 607. Contact us on email bnkogie@kirktv.org or munyoroku@kirktv.org for more information. Hurry and book now. Pamoja tuvuke mwaka. It's the Kirk TV and your advert bonanza. Get the very best Christian television here on Kirk TV.
It's such an honor and a privilege to have you on board.
And I'm delighted to bring us the Word of God.
Be nourished holistically with our program lineup from Matters Health.
The health of women, mothers and children is a very fundamental and key area to invest and focus in.
Faith.
Bless all of us, Lord. Bless the whole country of Kenya.
Family.
We stay here and transform families, stable families,
for stable society. Educational.
To educate you, help you and learn new laws.
Kazi na Mali. Sisi Ndisi.
It is junior talent in the program called Kirk Watoto.
As well as national issues.
And our part is the national government
We will continue to cooperate with like-minded stakeholders.
Experience it all here on Kirk TV.
Thank you so much for tuning in.
Jesus said, "Call unto me and I will answer."
How can you just leave a job and it's from that job that we were getting food and our daily bread, and then you tell us that God spoke to you?
Consider your ways.
Whenever Jesus was not received, he moved on.
Follow me.
Brothers and sisters, in following Christ, we lose. You may lose relationships.
It's an individual calling. Somebody who is committed to the one they are following.
But what is the cost of following Christ?
Following Jesus is not always after other ambitions.
Let the dead bury their own dead, but you go and proclaim the kingdom of God.
Call unto me every Wednesday at 8 p.m. only on Kirk TV.
Losing a beloved one can be one of the hardest life experiences. Death brings a total change in many setups, the family taking a huge position. Death also provides an opportunity to celebrate the departed and their achievements on earth. Kirk TV provides for you an opportunity to announce death and funeral at affordable fee. For more information, write to us via announcements at kirktv.org or call 011 00 90 647.
If you love singing, if you love dancing, if you love sports, all this will be in Kirk Watoto Season 2. Don't you dare miss it.
Kirk Watoto Season 2 is coming. Tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend. Peace. Kirk Watoto, yay! Let all the children come to me, because in the name
So catch Fit to Live every Monday through Friday at 6:30 a.m. and 4:30 p.m. Together, let's have fun, get fit, and stay healthy. My name is Aida Munzatsi. I'll be your host for this show. Remember, your health always matters.
right, welcome back. You're still watching Kirk in the Morning. My name is Vincent Kirosi, as always, and of course now joined in studio with my guest. He's a politician as well as a political analyst, goes by the name of Kevin Gundi. Karibu sana Bwana Gundi this morning. Even as we want to have a chat this morning on what is written in the papers this morning. What are the top stories in the papers this morning? We begin with the Daily Nation, the top page of the Daily Nation. EACC goes for former Moi aide in a 2.5 billion shilling case. A man who owns part of Mombasa airport runway. And of course, if I read a little bit of what is written there, in the eye of a legal storm, a case filed before the Environment and Land Court in Mombasa by the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission claims that companies associated with the former Moi aide Joshua Kulei illegally annexed 10 parcels of land from Moi International Airport, Mombasa, that hosts crucial installations, including part of the runway and the military and United Nations support bases. The EACC also seeks to recover 984 million shillings it says was illegally paid to Kulei and his associates as compensation for land compulsory acquired for the standard gauge railway and the Dongo Kundu Kipevu road projects. That's the top story in the top page of the Nation this morning. Gundi, let's have a chat on this, on the way of war against corruption.
Yes.
This is a big story. This is historical. Looks like it coming back from the years. You're not talking about a regime that was there 20 years ago, and now they have gone back to hit on this aid. Joshua Kulei, a case of 2.5 billion shillings being revisited. Do you think now we're beginning to see, the real fight against corruption here?
Yes, I think we can say that, and nobody's above the law, even those who are in the previous regimes. So it's not getting back to the previous regimes, but it is fighting for the rights of Kenyans. Yes. So I think we are on the right track with that.
The right
yes.
track, according to this. That story can be read deeply on page 10. If you want to read more, read on page 10. Of course, another story that is making headlines, of course, since yesterday is the haggling that led to the rejection of Malonza by MPs. Of course, this is going to make part of a conversation this morning. But looking at it, the story written on page, the top page, and of course covered deeply in page 4 and page 5 of the Nation this morning. The intense deliberations that went up into midnight on Monday in the committee vetting President William Ruto's cabinet secretary nominees led to the dropping of one nominee and a dissenting report on two others after the two sides could not agree on the fate of the three. Talking about the vetting process, of course, that went through last week or through Saturday, and the report finally of the committee on appointments was presented to the plenary of the House yesterday. First of all, what do you make of the report? Because apparently out of the 24, one was unanimously rejected.
Yes, you see, it was in the public domain, and of course we all see how it all went. So I think that the committee was proper in their report. They said that of course she's well learned because she has a 2 master's degree, she has a bachelor's degree, she has a diploma and other short courses. And of course, she has a track record because she has worked with the AMREF. Mm-hmm. She has been deputy governor for 5 years. Mm-hmm. And again, she again contested to be deputy governor for the second term.
Yes.
And again, she also ran in this previous election as a women rep. Mm-hmm. So then, those who are arguing against the report, but was presented before them, I think that you see, sometimes, you can fear the camera. But this is a person who has served as a deputy governor. So you can't say that she's fearing the camera. You see, the aim of the committee was to find out, is this candidate suitable for the position in which she has been nominated? Then the answer was no. So it was unanimous. You see, including even those who are from the Kenya Kwanza side, say that for her, it is a no. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
course, we are going to talk even deeper into and extensively into that issue of vetting and, of course, the report that was presented to the House yesterday. But I want us to keep looking at the top stories in the newspaper this morning. And page 6 of The Nation this morning talks about, the leader of Kenya, not Kenya Kwanza, Azimio la Umoja One Kenya, Raila Odinga says Ruto has failed starving Kenyans, charges Raila. In that story, Azimio la Umoja One Kenya coalition leader Raila Odinga has accused President William Ruto's government for focusing on 2027 elections instead of coming up with a strong emergency response to the drought and hunger crisis. In a statement, Mr. Odinga censured the government for what he termed as a lackluster response to drought and famine in Kenya, even as he reiterated his stand against reintroduction of genetically modified organisms, GMOs, in the country. Of course, right now we know that the leader of Azimio is not in the country. He is continuing his tour of the foreign countries, of course, where he began with India, now going into Europe, and that is where he released a statement on how the government of the day is tackling the emerging issues in the country. Of course, talk about drought and the soaring prices of commodities and all that, and of course reiterated that his stance against GMO still stands. What do you make of this case? Raila is not in the country, but he's still very vocal outside.
Yes, it is true that Kenyans are suffering, and of course the cost of living is too high for many of us. But then you see, this problem was not caused by an overnight, it's not an overnight creation. So you see, we can't just expect an overnight solution. Of course, it will take some time. So, and I'll just say, you see, now the former prime minister is in the opposition. So at least he must say something about it, because people are suffering. So he must just say something. But of course, I can say that the president also has shown ways that he is handling it. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes, talking about the president, I want us to actually begin the conversation now deeply, even as we'll go to look into the Standard this morning. Yeah. I want us to look at what the president yesterday said on the unga prices. Of course, when he was launching the Soweto B affordable housing construction in Lang'ata yesterday, the president on unga prices, if we can have that clip, then we have a conversation on that.
Niliwaambia ya kwamba lazima tuteremushe bei ya unga ikuje chini. Na hiyo safari ya kupunguza gharama ya unga na gharama ya maisha tayari nimeianzisha. Tayari tumepatia wakulima wetu mbolea magunia 1.5 milioni, na tunawapatia ingine magunia 6 milioni wazalishe chakula, ndio chakula ifike hapa ikiwa bei nafuu, na bei ya unga tuanze kuiteremusha. Mimi nataka niwaambie hivi, wale walioharibu hii mambo ya unga mpaka ikafika shilingi 230 walikoroga hiyo mambo kwa miaka 4, si ndio? Si waliharibu kwa miaka 4? Munipatie tu mwaka moja peke yake nitakuwa nimenyorosha. Kuna mna hiyo? So mos.
Yes, that's President William Ruto yesterday speaking during the launch of the Soweto B affordable housing construction project yesterday. And you've heard him speak, Banagundi, yes. And he looks like to be a totally different person who spoke during campaigns. Because during campaigns, he actually said that in his first 100 days, he saw that out. But now it's 365 days. That's a year.
Yeah. What the president is saying is that I want to bring up a permanent solution to this. And of course, as I said, it did not take just a night to create the challenge to be where we are. Of course, it took some time. And as he's saying that it took 4 years. But again, it cannot only be blamed on the previous regime, because we are aware that now we are this challenge is also caused by the 5 seasons that we have missed rain in this country. It's also caused by the desert locust, which invaded our crops. There also there's this armyworm. So you see, like, and also there is drought in the country. So we can't say that it is only the president, that the former regime did it. But of course, it is a challenge that will take some time to be out of it. Yes. So for the permanent solution, it will take approximately 1 year. And they were saying that I've already started the process. Yeah.
Let me tell you, is it coming back to, you know, the reality is now hitting home? I realized that it is not as easy as I thought when I was campaigning. Because when it was campaigning, and Kenya Kwanza, of course, as a whole, they say that just give us the authority, give us the mandate, and we'll be able to bring the prices of unga down. Actually, I remember them campaigning and saying, this kura, hizi kura, if I can, you know, paraphrase what the current speaker of the House of the National Assembly, who was who he is actually, you know, a principal in Kenya Kwanza, Moses Wetangula, say that hizi kura ni za kupunguza bei ya unga. You know, and mkitupigia kura kwa Kenya Kwanza ni kura kwa kupunguza bei ya unga. But now it is virtually 50 or so days after the general elections, and here we are, you know, and now they are tracking back, you know, sort of from what they promised on the campaign trail. Is it the reality now hitting home that, oh, it wasn't as easy as we thought?
You know, of course, like we must also be pragmatic in our argument, and now we look on these things. Of course, they say that if you vote for us, we will lower the cost of unga. But they did not say that, of course, if you vote for us, we'll lower it immediately.
Now, let me give you another scenario of the deputy president right now, His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua. You know, he said that kama si Azimio kutupeleka kotini, kutupeleka Supreme Court, tungekuwa tumepunguza bei ya unga.
Yeah.
Remember, he said that when, you know, there was that ongoing case on you know, that was challenging the election of William Ruto as the president. He said, if it's not that we've been taken to Supreme Court, we could have brought down the prices of unga. So now use that to help me understand.
Yeah, you know, like as you were saying that it is more than 50 days since we voted.
Yes.
And of course, like you know, like when they were campaigning, they said that in the first 100 days, in office, at least you will see some changes.
Yes.
But now they were taken to court. So it means that now that we cannot count all the days since elections, but we can say that now since you were elected, have you taken 2 months in office? Not yet. But then let's go back to the third president, His Excellency, the former president, Kibaki. You know, like after his elections, like 3 months later, a study was done, and Kenyans by UNDP, and they found out that Kenyans like were the most hopeful people on earth. You see, like they had hope that things will change, and it was after 3 months. But again now, this regime has not even set itself in the office. They still don't have their cabinet. So at least we should give them some time. At least we have seen that they're doing something. Yeah.
Well, I don't dispute that they are doing something, but my question is, is it that reality has hit home? I want to use that term again because when they were campaigning, it seems like, oh, heaven is going to come down immediately. They get into power. But right now, they are now, you know, trying to rephrase their promises and saying now, instead of 100 days, now give us a year. Is it things not looking as they thought?
I still believe that within 100 days, like we will see the lowering of cost of maize especially.
But the president himself says a year.
You see, like for the permanent solution, it will take a year because now what he's saying is that, you see, like we have given out fertilizer. So before we get our harvest, we need to get the maize from elsewhere. But then, of course, we have seen that he has lifted the ban on GMO maize. So it means that if maize comes in, at least the cost will go down. But again, you find that some people like have been arguing that you didn't consult the public, there will be socio-economic challenges on this. But then they're not arguing about the scientific or health effect of GMO. But what they're saying majorly is on the socio-economics, which means that you see that currently we have maize, we have flour retailing at 230.
Yeah.
Then you want to bring a cheaper GMO, which maybe will retail at 150. Then what will we do with our 230 unga? Because we also bought it at an expensive price. So that are the questions. But people are dying. So, of course, like if we bring the GMO maize into the country, of course we will see the price going down. Yes.
So what are the, you know, contingency plans of the president, of the government? Because now they're saying a year, but what are the immediate, because Kenyans are suffering, a drought is happening, that is, we see it, it's happening, and it's beyond us. But then as a government, we need to have contingency plans on how to sort out these issues, even as we wait for the permanent solution. What do you think should be the contingency plans of the government of the day to ensure that Kenyans are not really, you know, plunged even deeper into sufferings?
Yeah, now the next plan is now to put policy into place so that we can regulate the coming in of the GMO. Because you know that even the giving of fertilizers, it came in late after the planting season had already passed. Of course, some of the farmers are still planting, but it came in late. So it means that the farmers have used their resources to plant, and it means that even that harvest will not be that cheaper. Then it means if you are bringing a cheaper food from outside, then it will affect our farmers. So we need policy to regulate that field. That is the complaint all about it. Yeah, so what we must do very fast, of course, the ban has been lifted, but now work the policy around it so that at least we can see how we can sell what we already have and what is coming in. Yeah, so that's what we need to do. Yes.
And I want to ask this question, maybe from where I sit. Was the removal and doing away with of the, you know, of the subsidy of unga a bit too early, or ill-advised for that? If I may use that, it was a bit too early. Right now, Kenya is suffering, and the prices when it was, you know, doing away with the subsidy, the price of unga was around 210. Now it's 230, going up. It's not coming down. It's not remaining on that level. Was it ill-advised? Because again, you have to look at the normal mwananchi down there, and the government of the day. The dignity of the government is to actually, the role of the government is to ensure that the dignity of mwananchi that they're taking care of is undertaken and you know, covered for that matter. But right now Kenyans are suffering. You know, the prices are soaring each day, not only unga but other commodities. But the government again said we are doing away with subsidy. Was it a bit too early, ill-advised?
It was not too early. It was not ill-advised, because even when you look at the subsidy itself, it was costing billions of money, but you couldn't even find the unga at the supermarket, because you find out that even in less than 1 month we had already spent 8 billion shillings, but the unga is not in the shop.
But that was an issue of, you know, an issue of supply, and maybe looking at the cartels and the government and the president himself, when he was taking over, he said, actually just a week before taking over, he said that nikimaliza tu kuongea hivi Biblia nikiweka chini wale cartel mniachie, nitawashughulikia. So we expected him to go all full throttle against the cartels, because what was making us miss the unga on the supermarket shelves was basically because of cartels.
You know, like I said, it's not a one-time thing. And again, you see, like, this fertilizer is subsidized. So instead of subsidizing unga, or instead of subsidizing consumption, subsidize production.
But that's
then,
long term.
But then, let me just give an example. Like, this is an household which has 200 shillings in their pocket, and a small fly in the house. So the question is, we have 200 shillings here. So if we invest this money, of course, tomorrow will be better. But then, we can also buy food and eat now, and then, like, we have no hope for tomorrow. So what he's saying is, but of course, let's just take this uji and sleep, but tomorrow will be better. So let's invest this money on production. So I think that's the way to go about it.
Yes, I agree, but that's long term. A little bit mid-term and long term.
Yes.
What about the short term? What about the now? Because mwananchi anaumia tu.
Yeah, the now, as you have said, that the ban on GMO has been lifted. So what we are waiting is only the policy workout to see how the maize will come in or how the food will come in to lower the prices.
So the priority for you should be looking at the policies of regulating this GMO thing, so that to allow the the external factors to work through.
Exactly, and also like to manage the cartels around it. And again, yesterday, like as IMF was saying that 2023 will be very tough, like for all countries, and of course, and mostly 65 countries will be worse, and this is part of, and all these are in Africa and outside, of course. Now, if you see that now, all countries in the world are now suffering. Take for example, in UK, you saw that the Prime Minister resigned because it was tough on her. But again, you look at what brought her down, among them was this, but she lowered taxes, okay? But then now...
On the rich.
Yes. But now you find out now, but now as we speak, but 1 out of 5 Briton cannot put food on the table. So it is tough on her, okay? So what is what we are now saying even on us? But now the president, the 4th tried it to subsidize unga, but he found out that it was not working. So he removed it. Yes.
Okay. Now let's look at another issue that the president talking about, and that's job creation.
Yeah.
And he said that his priority right now is affordable housing, and that's why I want us to have a look at the Standard newspaper on page 10, because we have that story written there on page 10. Yesterday, the president was at yes, as I got it, the president was in Langata yesterday, and the Standard writes, Ruto abolishes kazi mtaani, asks for 1 year to lower living costs. Of course, we talked about the lowering of living costs, but about kazi mtaani, and this is job creation. The president said, kazi mtaani, hiyo ni kazi ya mambo zamani, and we are done with it. For me, kazi ni kujenga nyumba. Because he believes that through the affordable housing project, then Kenyans are going to have better jobs, and men of the people are going to be, cropped in and robbed in for that matter. But let's look at that. The president coming out and saying, kazi mtaani si kazi. What do you make of that notion itself?
As you have said, but ni mambo iliyopita. So you see, we are now entering into future. Of course, we must see changes. And of course, he's saying that I'm replacing it with this. Yes, so he's bringing something better. Yeah.
But this hustler president that say kazi ni kazi, and that is the slogan of his campaign.
Yes.
Kazi ni kazi. UDA, kazi ni kazi. Yes. And now, kazi mtaani si kazi.
What he's saying is that I'm replacing kazi mtaani with this one, because he was saying that of course there's construction will take place in all counties in the whole country. So he's saying that of course this will replace kazi mtaani. But of course while this is going on, we are waiting for the Asala fund. So you can do this as you await the other one. Yes.
Okay, can you have the clips now flow? Let's begin with Sakaja, because Sakaja spoke there just before the president spoke, and the people were actually asking for kazi mtaani, and Sakaja tried to hype it up before the president brought it all down. Can you have the bite of Governor Sakaja speaking about that?
Na nimesikia Shiro anasema ati watu wasilipe rates. Tafadhali wananchi wangu, hii rates lazima tulipe. Ili niwafanyie kazi, ili niwaletee maji, ili tuwajengee manyumba, ili niwatengenezee mabarabara, lazima tulipe rates. Na hiyo rates tumesema Nairobi hii, na mmefurahi Your Excellency ulinisaidia tukazungumza na Chief Justice, amenisaidia ku set up valuation court, tuko na new valuation rule. Rates Nairobi watu watakuwa wanalipa mwezi kwa mwezi. Monthly, instead of kulipa ati mwaka moja pesa mingi, tulipe pole pole. Mzee Kibaki alikuwa anatuambia kulipa ushuru ni kujitegemea. Sawa sawa? Ili tujenge mji wetu wa Nairobi. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Gani nyingine? Kazi mtaani. Your Excellency, wakati ambapo tulikuwa na kazi mtaani. I can tell you for sure, Your Excellency, the crime rate in Lang'ata and Kibra went down by 47%. Ilishuka na asilimia 47. Na kuomba, na nimeona Mheshimiwa Hinga, PS Hinga ndo alikuwa brainchild na alifanya na wewe hii kazi mtaani, tukishirikiana county government na serikali yako. Let us give our people hope. Tuwapatie nafasi vijana wetu wafanye hiyo kazi, na kina mama walikuwa wanapika. Hiyo kazi ilikuwa inaendelea mzuri. Mimi kama gavana nimesema tutaandika vijana wetu waingie kanjo ili kusaidia na mambo ya usafi. So mtulie hao MCAs wako hapa walipitishe budget. Ninaandika kila ward vijana ambao watafanya kazi, na pia tutapata na hiyo mambo ya kazi mtaani.
Well, that is the governor of Nairobi, Johnson Sakaja, speaking at Lang'ata yesterday when the president launched the affordable housing project yesterday. Now, that's the governor Sakaja talking about kazi mtaani and hyping it, of course, after coming from the crowd that was in attendance there. But immediately after that, this is what the president had to say.
Najua nyinyi mumeniambia ya kwamba munataka ile kazi mtaani. Munisikize. Sikizeni. Mambo ya kazi mtaani ni mambo zamani. Ile kazi mtaani ya kuokota takataka na nini hapana. Tuachane na hiyo. Sasa kazi itakuwa hii. Ninyi mnanielewa? Hiyo kazi sikizeni. Hiyo kazi ya mtaani, hakuna kazi ya mtaani tena. Kazi ni hii ya kujenga manyumba hii. Na nimemwambia huyu mungwana, wale watu wa kwanza ambao wataajiriwa katika kazi hii ni watu wa hapa Lang'ata na watu wa Kibra, ndio watakuwa wa kwanza. Jambo la pili, mulikuwa mnaajiriwa watu 500 kwa kila ward, si namna hiyo? Watu 500 kwa ward, ambaye ilikuwa watu 2500. Sio 2500 ndio watasaidia kujenga hii nyumba. Na tukianzisha ile Soweto C, tutakuwa na watu wengine 2500. Na tukianzisha ile Soweto D, tutakuwa na wengine 2500. Sasa ile mlikuwa mnaniuliza kazi, si ndio hiyo? Vile tunafanya kazi hii ya mambo ya kujenga manyumba, mimi vile naelewa ya kwamba muko na shida ya ajira, na ndio nimesema mambo ya ajira tutapanga ndani ya affordable housing. Tutaanzisha ujenzi wa manyumba katika kila constituency hapa Nairobi. Pale Makongeni mahali tunajenga nyumba karibu 25,000. Tutahitaji vijana zaidi ya 20,000 watusaidie kwa hiyo kazi. Kwa hivyo tutapanga nafasi ya ajira ya kutosha bila ya kutumia vijana wendu kwenda kuokota takataka. Kazi ya kuokota takataka ni ya Governor Sakaja. Aokote takataka apeleke kule kwa mambo mahali inapelekwa takataka.
Well, that's President William Ruto yesterday at the launch of affordable housing project, of course, at Lang'ata, Soweto B area there in Kibra. And, you know, with all due respect, the president has brought out on how he thinks the affordable housing is going to create job opportunities for, you know, for the constituents of Nairobi, talking about how he's going to begin projects not only in Lang'ata, but going to Makongeni and other constituencies in the city. But, you know, kazi mtaani was not just for the city. It was across Kenya, especially during the COVID-19, when the height of COVID-19 was already at the par. That came in handy, and, you know, around 200,000 youths benefited of that. What's your take?
You know, like, let's ask ourselves this question. But now that there is no kazi mtaani, does it mean that now the street will be dirty? There will be someone doing it. And the president has said very well. But now we are leaving that to Governor Sakaja. And the governor said that I will employ your people to do this work. Which means But the now president is bringing something extra. He's saying that now this will not be for the national government, but it will be for the county government. But now for the national government, I am bringing also something on top. Yes.
But it's not on top. It's actually abolished. He abolished kazi mtaani. So he's not bringing affordable housing as another way plus.
Yes.
The kazi mtaani. He did that with kazi mtaani, and now it's about affordable housing. And there are so many people, so many vijana, and even our mothers and people, wazees who really got something to call their own from kazi mtaani during the COVID height.
What he has done away with is just the name, Kazi Mtaani. Like he just done away with the name only. But of course, the job will still be there because so long as we are living, we must just pick dirt from the roads, we must just sweep the roads. Yes, the town must just be clean, so it will be there. But the name Kazi Mtaani is out, and he is saying that now this will not be under my jurisdiction for the national government. What I'll give you is this construction job.
Well, fair to say that, but he's saying in the city. I'm talking about, kazi mtaani that was, circulated all over the country. It was in county of Narok, it was in Mombasa, it was all over Kenya.
Yeah.
And we saw youth, working to not only make their vicinity clean, but to have what they call their own, out of what they were doing there. So what is going to replace those jobs that they are doing there? What are these people who depend on kazi mtaani going to do now that there is no more kazi mtaani, not only in Nairobi, but across Kenya?
Their governors will absorb them in, because remember,
the issue
of NMS was that now, where will we take these people? And of course, the governor said, but I will absorb all of you. While, of course, some of you may go to the national government, but of course, I'll absorb the remaining. So again, even in those counties, the governors will absorb those who are doing the kazi mtaani to do the same job, but now on a different name. And again, the construction of houses is also to go across the country in all counties. And he was saying that per year we need 250,000 houses across the country. So it means it is a plus job, because meanwhile the kazi mtaani will be going on under the counties with a different name. Of course, there is another one of construction. Yes.
Construction job is not for everyone as well,
Yeah.
because it's labor intensive, it's energy intensive. That those our mothers who are not strong enough to do that job, but they are strong enough to kufagia and pick that dirt and make where they were clean. Now, how are they going to be now incorporated into these affordable housing projects?
Yeah, some of them will supply food there. And of course, as we said, that Asla Fund is just a month away. Yeah, so some of them, of course, will sort of venture into business. And of course, we have seen our mothers, our sisters, they are now doing this construction job. Yes.
Okay. All right. We will wait and see how that is done. But again, it's not about initiative. If you're going to have that, trickle down all counties. But the question I have is, a slogan of kazi ni kazi, and then kazi mtaani si kazi. It leaves more questions than answers in that in that connotation.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's take a short break. We'll be back with more when we want to talk a little bit on what happened in the House yesterday when the Committee on Appointments tabled the report on the vetting of the 24 CS nominees, and one of them, Penina Malone's, of course, not so lucky, and the minority side also dissenting on two others. That is Mithika Linturi of Agriculture, and of course Aisha Jumwa, who was nominated to take that slot in the public service and gender and affirmative action. We are going to look into that in a short while. Don't go away.
welcome your feedback on our programming. For questions or comments, kindly get in touch with us via email info@kaktv.org, SMS 0111 220044, or call us on 0794 588 054.
PCEA Housing Cooperative Society Limited, a cooperative society under the Presbyterian Church of East Africa, brings you Heshima Gardens, approximately 700 meters from the proposed bypass. Located 2.5 kilometers from Athi Shopping Center, 15 minutes from Thika Superhighway, are the 50 by 100 serviced plots. It is a fast developing area, strategically located at a central place for easy access to the capital city and Thika town. Nearby social amenities include a police station and a primary school, water and electricity. The plots sell at Kenya shillings 570,000 for PCEA Housing Society members, Kenya shillings 650,000 for non-members, and Kenya shillings 600,000 if paying in installments. The prices are inclusive of the title deed fees. For more information, call 0708 145 222, that is 0708 145 222. Hurry and grab your plot now. Pay a deposit of Kenya shillings 200,000 and the balance in 3 months. Heshima Gardens by PCEA Housing Cooperative Society Limited.
Already here at Kirk TV. Are you a business looking to advertise your brand and products to potential customers? Are you looking to improve your sales as we end the year? Starting this October till January 31st, 2023, we are offering you, our customer, various discounts up to 50% off our advertising rates. Imagine paying half the price to reach customers countrywide. Usiwachwe nyuma hii krisi. Call our sales teams now on 0738 278 506 or 0739 971 607. Contact us on email bnkogie@kaktv.org or munyoroku@kaktv.org for more information. Hurry and book now. Pamoja tuvuke mwaka. It's the Kirk TV and your advert bonanza.
All right, welcome back. We're still on with our conversation this morning on the state of the nation. Remember that you can weigh in, send your feedback on our SMS number 0111 002244. And of course, you can also send us through our socials, Kirk TV Kenya on Facebook, Kirk TV Kenya on Twitter. We'll be able to look at that at the tail end of this conversation. But right about now, we want to look at, what happened last week. The vetting process that began on Monday last week went through on to Saturday last weekend. And of course, now the Committee on Appointments, led by the Speaker of the National Assembly, who is the chairman, Moses Wetangula, presented the report yesterday to the plenary of the House. And of course, there was a little bit of a heated debate in the House yesterday, looking at the names that were approved and those that was not approved. Of course, one of Penina Malonza, but the minority side also having a dissenting report on one Aisha Jumwa and Mithika Linturi. And before we begin the conversation with Mr. Gundi here, let's have a listen at what had transpired in the House yesterday evening.
The Honorable Wandai should be stopped
from claiming that she is not fit when she is serving in the Parliamentary Service Commissioner as a commissioner courtesy of ODM.
Madam Speaker, on the 3 nominees that we rejected, one, Aisha Jumwa. The certificate of good conduct from the DCI, Madam Speaker, came out indicating that all the nominees were clean.
Even if you look at the past cabinet, very many of them had civil matters, civil cases. They did not impede them from doing their work. The civil cases that are hanging around Mithika Linturi will not in any way impede him from doing his work. He had these cases even when he was a senator. But today, to try to crucify Mithika Linturi on the basis of civil matters is double speak on the members that have written the minority report.
It is confusing this House. Leave it to us, we will know what we will do with it. If we feel, like I am sure many of us feel, that there is no way we are going to reject one member out of 24, we are going to approve them all. But you are the same people who have rejected, so don't give excuses. Don't look good.
It is probable, Honorable Speaker, that a nominee, and indeed I saw this happen, not just to this particular nominee, to at least a minimum of 4 nominees who panicked, became anxious, and could at times lose their line of thinking and forget very simple basic things, Honorable Speaker, that we shall treat them with the decorum and respect that they deserve. But they must treat the people of Kenya with higher respect and answer to questions and statements that are of concern to the people of Kenya without the arrogance we saw in the last regime. We must take this opportunity, Honorable Speaker, and I must tell them from this floor, Honorable Speaker, the reason the President has implored on this House to amend our standing orders, to allow cabinet secretaries to appear in this House to answer to questions and statements, Honorable Speaker, and also to articulate government policy, Honorable Speaker, is to enhance accountability in government.
Yeah, that is the debate, of course, the debate that transpired yesterday in the House on issues of, the report that was presented to the plenary of the House by the Committee on Appointment, of course, on the vetting exercise of the 24 nominated CSs. Of course, 23 of them were approved, and of course including the Prime Cabinet Secretary Moses Wetangula and the rest. But Penina Malonza, the CS nominee for tourism, was not approved unanimously. What is your take on that? Why only her?
It is not about an individual that now they were 24, but now why only her? It's not about why only her.
Don't you think that's a valid question? Why only her?
Yes.
Why?
There were parameters which they were checking, and of course he ticked some of them, but now the most important one she failed to tick.
According to them, according to the appointment committee,
yes,
the report says that the reason why she was rejected is because she failed to understand the issues to deal with, the docket. She didn't have the knowledge on the docket, that is tourism.
Yes. Because you see, the tourism sector, you see, this is a sector which should earn us revenue. Of course, we are under punching in that sector. You see, so and of course, as you can see, our economy, is dying. So we need people who can revive it. And of course, this tourism sector, of course, can help us. But now, if you put in someone who doesn't understand how it works, of course, just a recipe for trouble, of course.
Let's begin from the word go. Why then was she proposed by the president? Why was she nominated by the president? If she didn't understand, she didn't have the knowledge on the docket that the president, remember, she did not apply for the position.
Yes.
The position was granted on nomination to her by the head of state. Why then did the president do that if he felt or he knew that the person I'm presenting is not knowledgeable?
Our academic qualification, past work record in other offices. So at least like what the president did was to say that now I think she can do it. Now find out if she is suitable to handle this docket. Yes.
Okay. You know, she's been in the public service for quite a while.
Yes.
She's served in offices, including a DG in her county. She's been vetted by a public body, the IEBC. She went through successfully. Why do you think people feel that she failed in this vetting process of the committee on a point?
Actually, people do not feel that she failed. Actually, she failed. You know, for example, like there was this young man just recently, who had all A's like in KCSE. Then he went ahead to get first class honors in engineering from the university. So you see, like, because he's an engineer and is an A material, now you see, like, you can just take him to the hospital and tell him that now I think because you went to school and you got straight A's, now I think you can treat the patient. No, that's not his area. So actually, like, what came out clean was that, of course, Penina, like, she has worked before for AMREF, she has been a DG. Of course, she was good at her work. That is why, like, in her first term as DG, like, another aspirant considered her to be a running mate. So you see, like, she worked well. That's why, like, she was observed. But now, for this docket, was not hers.
Let me ask you, how do you rate or how do you qualify and disqualify understanding or knowledge on an issue? Is it how I speak or how I deliver on the job?
You know, like, not how you speak, but your basic understanding of that area. Like, you see, like, for example, let's just take an example of even Honorable Duale. You know, like, he did not do military science in Russia or any country or even in Kenya. But you see, like, they found him suitable because he has an understanding of that docket. You see, like, she had time, all of them had time to go and peruse through and understand the docket. So you're telling me that if she could not use all that time that she had to go and do her research well, to learn about how tourism sector work, how tourism and heritage, how it works. So actually, like, she couldn't manage it.
Do you believe that sometimes you can appear before a committee or before an interviewing panel, before cameras, and just lose your trail of thought on what you really know or what you really had and what you were supposed to present?
Yes, it can happen. But again, it depends, because you see, like, this is a person who has been in the public. This is a person who has been before the camera, like, in a number of times.
Only
like
that
a deputy governor.
She has not been
for 5 years
before a committee of appointment.
She had been. How did AMREF give her the job?
Probably that's a totally different interviewing panel compared to a panel that is, led by politicians from top to bottom.
She was an aspirant in this election. She was running for women for Kitui. And again, you see, like, for you to serve for 5 years as a deputy governor, you see, like, governor has given you roles, you performed them well. Of course, representing him, like, in his absence, he can send you, like, in other countries to go and negotiate and argue for the county. Yeah, so I'll dismiss that part of fearing cameras and the panel. No, that's a no.
Well, having said that, and the Kenya Kwanza now, yesterday, if you follow the debate later into the night, it seems that Kenya Kwanza now, are warming to the prospect of saving her and, amending the report and trying to now bring her back into life, if we may call that.
Actually, it is not Kenya Kwanza, but it is the House. Because
the House, but the majority side.
No, all of them, because, like, you have also heard from Honorable Honorable
Mbadi.
Yes, Mbadi. He was saying that why disqualify her? Because he has argued for her case, and also other MPs from Azimio also argued for her case.
So what happens then if the report is recanted or the report is amended to, again now have a relook at her?
Yeah, you know, like the committee's duty was to find out our suitability or their suitability as nominated CS, which they did. Then they present the report to the assembly. They discuss it. Of course, they can outrule the committee's finding. They can say that, well, we have outruled what you have said.
Okay.
Yeah, so they approve her. And of course, like if she is approved, there will be need to reassign her. Of course, which but is under the president now. He can reassign her to other roles or another docket. Yes.
But can she be reassigned and yet she's been vetted for this particular position?
Yes, you can. Like if you read at the cabinet, if you read the constitution, what it says about the cabinet, the president can reassign.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I remember in 2013 when one Phyllis Kandie, if you remember, when she was nominated by Uhuru Kenyatta for, I think it's East African Community CS. Yes, and she was rejected by the Committee of Appointment, but the House saved her. Are we going to, is it almost the same script here?
Yeah, and of course, like there is a likelihood of saving her, because now they have turned it to saying that now, you know, she was a woman, maybe she was having her periods, you know, like such things. So now, like, of course, she will say, they will, okay, they may save her, but that's not all, you know, like, if she is given that docket and she won't, and she's not performing, there is a possibility of reassigning her or dismissing her. Both are within the powers of the president now.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Now, I want us to have a listen at what other, you know, members that were in the Committee of Appointments had to say about this. And can we have a listen to the Honorable Opio Wandai, who is the minority leader in the House and who was part of the Committee on Appointment?
Honorable Linturi went further to inform the committee that he was saddled with a plethora of cases, a litany of cases, numbering about 35, that had weighed him down so much that he wanted to forget about them and move on. Mr. Speaker, how will you move on? How do you move on when you have got active cases against you in court? When we approve you to be a cabinet secretary with all these cases, how would you move on? And yet Kenyans expect you to go and serve them from the office to which you have been appointed. That was our difficulty with the Honorable Mithika Linturi. And indeed, in addition to this other matter of the university accreditation, university certificates, he had the issue of the attempted rape case, which of course had been dropped, and the issue of forgery in terms of acquisition of certain loans which were ongoing. The Speaker, all this put into context raised serious questions of integrity that in our view as minority, we felt could not allow the Honorable Linturi to effectively perform the functions of the office of a cabinet secretary if appointed, Mr. Speaker. On the issue of Honorable Aisha Jumwa, it is a matter of public notoriety that the Honorable Aisha Jumwa, up to this afternoon, is still facing an active case of murder. Up to this afternoon, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, and you will recall for sure, because we live in this country, that some few years ago, none other than the Cabinet Secretary responsible for National Treasury, Mr. Henry Rotich, was charged with certain offenses, I think other corruption or related offenses. And upon being charged, he was made to step aside. Henry Rotich has stayed out of office since then, up to now, until the end of the administration of Honorable Uhuru Kenyatta. So what logic then would you be applying? While on one end, a person as senior as CS in charge of Treasury is being asked to step down, while you are attempting to appoint somebody who is facing active murder charges in court to a public office. Yeah.
All right, welcome back. And now that is the leader of minority in the House, the Honorable Opio Ndai, presenting their case on why they dissented on Aisha Jumwa, the CS nominee for public office, gender and affirmative action, and of course Mithika Linturi, who is the CS nominee for agriculture. You've listened to their case, and one of the things they're saying is that the two have active court charges against them. Of course, Linturi has like 35 or so civil suits, and the Honorable Jumwa has an active murder charge against her right now, and that is why they feel they are not fit to hold office, according to, according to Chapter 6 of the Constitution on leadership and integrity.
Yes, within our laws, you are presumed innocent until proved guilty.
Why then don't you wait to be proved to be sort of for it to be for us to be sure that you are innocent? Then now you can take office. Why do you have to if be in between an hula baloo where we don't know whether you are innocent or you are guilty? Why not wait until you are clean or unclean for you to decide on whether to take public office or not?
Is the position waiting?
There are other people who can take that position while you wait.
As you wait, the position won't wait. And then who will pay for the damages? Because that's the damage, because I ought to be a CS, but now I'm not because of fictitious charges, maybe.
Is it a case of looking at the judiciary here and looking at how to expedite these cases then? Because we have, for a Kenyan, it's only fair that we know the person getting into the office is clean, or they are not clean from the word go, not in between. Is it a case of the judiciary also failing here?
Actually, I want to say that because in the past regime, the judiciary was facing a lot of challenges, especially with finances, the judges were enough. So of course, there was backlog of cases. Yeah, so we can't blame the judiciary on this. And now, of course, that the president will be giving them their their allocations. So I believe we'll be seeing changes also in the judiciary and our justice system.
Well, that's not given. We'll wait and see and decide to rule a case if it works. But until now, we know even the judiciary fund has not been, expedited to the court. But now again, from the dignity of a person, you are lingering on cases that you're not sure, like Mithika Linturi himself during the vetting said he wants these cases to, he wants to run away from these cases as much as possible, the 35 suits that are following him. And of course, Aisha Jumwa was saying that she was acquitted of the issue with public fund. And then, of course, now the issue, the murder charge, of course, the family itself came and said they want to have that solved out of court.
Yes.
But it's still a case. It's still a case. So for the dignity and integrity of a person, as a person, why not step aside until these cases are decided or otherwise?
During the interview, Honorable Opio Ndai asked the same question. But don't you think that it is right for you to step aside, because how is even the family that was affected is feeling now that you are now being vetted to hold a higher office like this?
Yes.
And of course, she said that the family is even resorting to solve this issue outside the court. Now, why can a family want to solve the issue outside the court? Because they have seen that this case is going nowhere. Because this thing happened in 2019. And as Mheshimiwa was saying, I don't own a gun. I don't even know the names of the gun. And of course,
you don't have to own a gun for you to use one, do you?
Okay, you see, that case is in the public domain. She did not shoot the person. Okay.
That's not the
now, and she even said during her interview. But you see, even the witnesses for that case did not mention my name. My name has not been mentioned anywhere. And that is why even the family of the deceased want to solve this thing out at the court. Because, of course, they lost a loved one. But now, what are they getting? Because they're saying that this case is going nowhere. So they want just to...
Again, it could be pressure from the who is who.
I doubt it, because like, see, we have the police to investigate if there are pressures or any other thing going on.
Okay.
Yes.
So what about Linturi and his 35 lawsuit, civil suits?
You know, like when the minority side was disqualifying him, like what they mentioned, like as for the reason why they were disqualifying him, were not the 35 lawsuits, but it was about the rape case charge, which was withdrawn. And of course, he was saying, but you see, like even this charge, it was me who reported this case. You see, so like I think he's just innocent until presumed guilty. Yes, that is the case.
Well, we might look at it from that angle, but again, look at it from this angle. On our nomination, you know, the president as well, he nominates people he understands are going to deliver on the job according to him. But again, they have questions in the public domain that people have questions. You know, sometimes do the president, you know, put, you know, these individuals under too much light and pressure that now they have to bear? Because, you know, he's the one who nominated them.
Yes. You know, like majorly like these cases or what they are being questioned on, like most of them, as they have said, were politically instigated. Yes. So if that is the case, then of course the cases will be dropped. So I don't see like why they should be denied the opportunity.
For me, I think, why not wait until they are dropped if they're going to be dropped?
Yeah.
Why not wait until they are dropped? Then you can consider these persons. I mean, there are so many individuals out here who can deliver on the job. So let them wait until the cases are decided. If they are dropped, then later during a reshuffle, if the president believes that they can, you know, they are the best hands on this job, then they can be considered.
You know, like these are the people like who worked with them to get the government.
So it's a
these
case
are the
of
people.
Rewarding.
No, it isn't about rewarding. I'm still giving out my point.
Okay.
They helped him reach where he is. They helped him convince the people, but this can work. Actually, like they work together to bring this working program called like the bottom up. So they believe in it and they can deliver. So I think that is why like he brought them in. Yeah.
Okay, let's have a listen to what other members in that committee said, and we have one Robert Mbui who was a member in that committee, and can you have a listen to what he said?
Give this house where we serve an opportunity to be able to go through the credentials and the abilities of these members so that we can make an opinion. So, Madam Speaker, I want to say that we cannot say we are wrong or we are right. We are expressing an opinion, which is what the Constitution envisages. And this house must also reach that point where we can stamp our authority. Because we have been in this house, this is the third time. But it is unfortunate that this house, many times we are actually used as a conveyor belt. The Speaker reads the names, they go to the appointments committee, they are all passed, and then members, you know, it's like we are choir singing for the executive. Madam Speaker, I think when we talk about this vetting process, I want to thank the Constitution and, of course, the leadership of the House, because this was a very transparent process. I am listening to members speak here, and I'm wondering whether they watch the proceedings. Madam Speaker, Kenyans were also vetting as we were vetting those nominees. And Kenyans saw the competencies. Kenyans heard the answers. Kenyans also appreciated the questions that were asked. In fact, Madam Speaker, I dare say that a lot of the questions that we were asking came from memoranda from the public that is in this report that members need to read, and also SMSs and phone calls that were made to us. So, Madam Speaker, I want to say that it is wrong for anyone to cast aspersions on this committee, because we are just 21 members that were given the mandate on behalf of the House to be able to listen to these nominees.
Well, that is the Honorable Robert Mbui there, who is a member of the Committee of Appointment, saying to him the exercise was transparent. You agree?
Of course it was. It was not some boardroom report, because they did it publicly. Then they wrote a report on the same and presented it to the House, who also watched. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's now the House is going to continue the exercise today, of course, going to continue with the discussion today, the debate on the report today. Going forward, what do you expect it's going to transpire in the House today as far as the debate on this report of the Committee of Appointments is concerned?
Actually, like what I think that they will pass the 24, because you see, like the
including
committee,
Malonza.
Yes, including Malonza.
Okay.
Because of course they had shown that yesterday with how they were arguing. Because the pro Kenya Kwanza team was saying that of course we should give a chance, and also the Azimio side was saying that we should give a chance. And of course also like there's let's say like Honorable Mitheke Linturi and also Honorable Jumwa will also be given that chance, because the pro Kenya Kwanza team, because even how they voted in the committee, all of them voted in their favor. And if, of course, Kenya Kwanza have numbers in the assembly, it means then that even if it is subjected to voting, they will also vote in the favor of those MPs, because it's about voting in the House. Yeah.
So the voting, of course, now they'll deliver that to the president. Do you expect anything different from the president in the report?
You know, like now it is not in his hand or within him. It is about now the assembly. Let them do their work. If they approve all of them, well. If they don't, we'll have to look for someone else to fill in the position, which is, yeah.
According to you, you look at this 24 and look at the manifesto of Kenya Kwanza and the plan, what they call the plan. Do you believe this is a team to lead the steps through developing and implementing the plan of Kenya Kwanza as far as governance is concerned, the next 5 years?
You know, I believe that they were part of developing this plan. So I believe that they understand it in and out, because we Kenyans, we saw that the plan was good, so we gave them the mandate. And the president had said, but these are the people that I believe can help me deliver the plan or what we promised the Kenyans. So I believe that we are on the right track.
Which docket do you think is, according to you, is likely to thrive under whoever is in charge?
You know, like especially agriculture.
Linturi?
Yeah.
Why? Why Linturi?
You know, it's not about individual like Linturi, but it is about like the plan itself, because like what we should be doing is okay, following the plan. And again, like you saw, like the way he was answering questions, because you see, like they will be making decisions as the cabinet, because you see, like at the end of the day, it is not about Lenturi or another CS or who, but it is about the president. When it fails, it is the president. When tourism sector fails, it is the president. Yes.
If he goes through, you know, if at all he goes through and is confirmed as the CS for agriculture, he is going to replace a fellow, you know, tribesman, a fellow count man, if I may call him, you know, the Honorable Peter Munya. What has Munya done that do you think the Honorable Mithika will do differently to, you know, grow that sector? Because Munya, when he came in, there were issues with that docket, for sure. There were issues because he took over from Kiunjuri, who is also from the mountain, and there were issues in that docket. When he came in, sort of tried to solve the issues here and there, the issue to do with tea and milk and, you know, coffee and all that. What do you think is going to do different?
Yeah, you know, like, of course, like Peter Munya, he tried, but he did not do like what Kenyans expected him to do. But now here is coming another CS. But now there is a script for him to follow. You know, it's just coming that now Lenturi has come. Now what does he have for us? He have a script to follow. You know, agriculture is the backbone of this economy. So of course, like we need to look at it like with the good analysis and policies. Yeah, so I think like the Kenya Kwanza administration have a good agenda on agriculture. Yes.
So whoever is in charge, you believe, is going to thrive.
Yeah, if he understands the sector, and of course, if he has the requisite qualifications, then he will run it well.
Do you feel that he has the requisite qualifications? Does he have the understanding and knowledge on the sector?
Of course, because as you've seen, is a vetting process, and of course, the report about him is not about his qualification or his ability or his suitability per se, but it's about the cases which he has, which they were saying. But of course, like he's qualified, he can do it. But what we think that these cases will drag him down. So that was the argument there. Yes.
So agriculture will thrive. And other that you feel, will slightly come under agriculture?
I also feel that trade will do well.
Under Moses Kuria?
Yes, under Moses Kuria, and also the one for Chelugui.
That is cooperative and MSMEs?
Yes. I think also they will also do well, because that is also the focus of the Kenya Kwanza. All their eyes will be on it. So that's the focus of the government. They will focus majorly on agriculture. They will focus on trades, and they will also focus on this ministry of interior. Yeah, because we need to see changes in that ministry. Yeah, we need reforms in the police sector. Yes.
Wow, interior. Talking about interior, it's not going to be easy shoes to fill in, because he's taking over from Matiang'i, who historically has done so well whenever he's set foot. Remember when he was in the education sector, and now into interior. He did reasonably well. He was celebrated as one of the best years the country has had. So how do you think, the Honorable Kithure Kindiki is going to take on this? Because, again, there are a lot of issues lingering around the Ministry of Interior. Talk about the issues on insecurity in the Rift, especially in the Rift and the Northeast, and talk about the issues in Elgeyo Marakwet, in Turukan and all that, issues to do with bandits. He is coming in with a lot of in his plate already.
Yeah, actually, I think you see, during the vetting process, you see that one of the Mheshimiwas from those regions of Northeastern,
the Sudan, I saw that.
Yes, she even shed tears when asking questions what will you do to address this? And of course, he answered the questions well. That's why it was unanimously approved by the committee. Yes. So I think he will do it.
What about his personality and temperament? He seems to be, a calm and, collected kind of person. Do you think that fits that ministry that sometimes needs you to grow some horns?
He's a professor, and he's a professor of law, so he understands these matters. He understands the law. So I believe he will lead that ministry well, because
Does it need a person who understands law in that ministry? Is it all about law?
Actually,
of course, it's keeping law and order, but is it all pegged on law?
Not really. Yeah. But of course, it is pegged on your abilities, qualifications, your track record, what you did in the past, how did you manage to do this? So, and again, it was being asked on the issues that are affecting the area, and he was able to handle them. So we believe that if given that opportunity, he will be able to handle them.
What do you think he needs to do differently to handle such issues of insecurity, especially in the Rift and the North, in the North Rift, and of course in the Northeastern frontier?
As the president was saying when he visited Kitui County, of course there has been challenges of insecurity there. And they were saying that now police, you don't have excuse, because I've given you your money, so you can handle this. So you won't say that now the problems are this and this. You don't have to appease any CS or to appease the president or anybody. You have finances, you have the resources, go and do your work. So I think that So you should just work around those areas. Yes, allowing the police to do their work and monitor them, of course.
You know, it's coming in when there's been a total reshuffle, a total change in the police service. They talk about a new IG who will be vetted in the next 1 week or so. I think on 8th of November he'll be appearing before the House to be vetted. That's Japheth Koome, to be vetted as the new IG. And of course, we have a new DCI boss in town, the Honorable Amin, and is coming in under a totally transformed regime as far as that docket's concerned.
You know, you can't say that it was totally reformed, because it was just a few days back on
Transformed,
Sunday.
not reformed, in terms of leadership.
You know, like, of course, like the head has been transformed, yes. But now, what about the body? Because just like the other day, like on Sunday, a Pakistani national was shot dead by the police. So you see, like, it speaks a lot about our police. It needs a lot of reformation. We need to invest in the area and see, like, what is the problem. Like at least, like, we need an inquiry to be done in that area. Yes.
But you know, it's not the person to do that. We have bodies that are mandated to do that. For example, the IPOA, that is given the oversight role over the police.
Yes.
So I don't think he's in any way going to play a role in that.
You see, like, it is the duty of the president to form the inquiry committee to inquire into the matter. Because IPOA has been there, but these challenges keeps on coming. So actually, like, it is upon the CS can advise the president that now I think on this, do this. Yeah. Because it is his docket.
Okay. We wait and see. Another docket you feel that is going, we should keep an eye on, in the 24, that were 24, if Malonza is, finally saved, according to the papers this morning.
Yeah, it is also a docket. We should also keep an eye on that docket, because this is one of our revenue sources, and of course we want to increase the revenue source from the tourism sector, because currently we are punching below belt.
How do you rate the job of Najib Balala? He's been there for 10 years.
He didn't perform well, because following the interview, it was being said that we have capacity to handle per year, let's say 10 million visitors, but it's not the case. We are far below. So she was being asked that now that we are recovering now that we are in the post-COVID period, now what will you put in place to ensure that now we will have more visitors? Now what will you put in place to ensure that you supersede the work of CS Balala? Yeah, so I think that it didn't perform quite well as expected, yes.
But remember, he's the only CS who just finds himself in between. He's in good terms with them when he comes in power. Do you see him in kind of, being incorporated with the government in some capacity? He usually doesn't take sides when it comes to politics, especially from 2013 to now.
Yeah, but I think for this time he was in Kenya Kwanza, because he was not much into the limelight. So
you said he was in Kenya Kwanza?
Yeah, sometimes I've been saying it, that he was...
himself has not said anything, so I think it's going to be fair.
When it is in the public domain, and it's being said by people, by high-ranking people, and it does not contradict the same, then...
No, until it's said yes or not, we cannot use that as a way to, to qualify that.
Okay.
But do you think he deserves an opportunity somewhere?
Maybe not, because just he's also a Kenyan. So if there is an opportunity, of course, that fits his qualification or where he can help, yeah, he can be considered just like any other Kenyan. Yeah.
Especially in terms of transition, how would you look? Because we are having people who are totally new to the office. how do we then transition them into the office, you know, sort of say even if Malonza is saved and now she has to take that docket, and you have an incumbent, you know, a legendary figure in that, you know, in Najib Balala, who has been there for a very long time, not the first one serving in that, because he served it even in other regimes before Uhuru. And do you think we need to look at on how to bed in the new Bs, you know, the new CSs into office by, you know, having the exiting CS in position for a while to just bed them in, especially in those positions that are really critical?
You know, like some CS like will be fitting in like big shoes by their predecessors. Just like you said that CS Matiang'i like performed very well. So like someone who is coming in at least should do better. But then of course for Najib Balala, like the question is that but did he worked well? Like did he take us where we should be? The answer is no. So like we need someone who can take us like where we should be. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and let's for a moment before you conclude look at the ability of CS Namwamba in his docket, because he's also been spoken, you know, even when he was vetted and you followed online, Kenyans were so happy and were really elated to, you know, the prospect of having him as the CS for sport in, you know, a docket that has really been, you know, a thorn on feet of Kenyans as far as sports is concerned, you know, for a while now, because our fortunes sport-wise have been dwindling by the day for a while now. So how do you look at the ability and the suitability of CS Namwamba in that position?
You know, Chisma, like CS Honorable Namwamba, like as a track record, is like he delivers. You find that like when he was an MP, when he was the sergeant of ODM, of course, like he has that track record of delivering like where he is. Just like
he was also a CS for sport, was a minister for sport during you know, the
Kibaki, yes, yeah, during the Kibaki regime. Of course, that's why like he was given back this position, because it is a critical time. Because as you are saying, but that sector has been facing a lot of challenges. Yeah, so I think he will take it to where it should be. Yeah.
How did you like his, you know, his articulation and understanding of the issues and matters that arose during the interview? He seemed to have an understanding of what is really ailing the sporting sector in the country.
Yeah, you know, like you can compare him with CS Matiang'i. When he was in the ICT, he performed. Yeah. Take him to education, he performed. Take him to the interior, he performed. Yeah, so of course, like he managed to convince like the whole committee, those who are from the minority side Azimio, those who are from the Kenya Kwanza, all of them like unanimously approved him. Yeah, so of course he performed.
Well,
yeah.
We wait and see what will happen, you know, of course, going forward, because they haven't even begun their mandate because the report is being discussed this morning in the House. Let's follow that and see what transpires and what comes out of that debate this morning in the House. And of course, this morning and this afternoon in the House today, when they'll have an opportunity to discuss and debate on the report of the Committee on Appointments that was presented to the plenary of the House yesterday, because they have until November 3rd, that is on Wednesday next week, or Thursday next week, to ensure that they have concluded everything and the President has the names in his desk before he delivers on what Kenyans are waiting to be his now functional cabinet going forward, because that is when now we'll be able to ask questions on those particular individuals who are taking position. But for now, I want to say thank you very much for being with us in this show this morning, Kirk in the Morning. Thank you very much, Bwana Kevin Gundi, for, you know, coming over and helping us understand and you know, create you know, a discussion around these issues this morning. We wait and see what happens. Of course, the President president said that in 2 weeks he will be going to Makongeni area in Eastlands to continue, you know, the affordable housing launch project. Of course, that is going to launch another 20,000 actually units of houses that is going to build there. We wait and see what happens. But again, he says a year before we begin seeing the fruits of you know, taking away the subsidy of unga. So you need to continue, pulling your belts even tighter, because it is not going to be easy going forward. As Kevin also said, it's not going to happen overnight. So we wait and see how the government works. But the policies will matter going forward, as you said.
Yeah.
We wait and see what kind of policies the government is going to bring into place, so that we see how Kenyans are going to be helped going forward. Thank you very much again. My name is Vincent Kirosi. Thank you for joining us in this show. We will do this again next week, God willing. I want to take an opportunity to look at your feedback, if any, on our socials. A little bit of that, if I can find it, on our socials this morning. But I'm told that we will be able to analyze that going forward. My name is Vincent Kiros. As I said again, I'll see you again, and next time I want to say kwaheri together with my guest Kevin Gundi. Enjoy the rest of your viewing. Of course, we'll try to enlighten you on what will transpire in the debate on the vetting report that was presented in the plenary of the House, that is going to continue later today. Continue watching Kirk TV for all that will transpire. Kwaheri.